Once upon a time, there was a man named Jackson who had a special bond with animals and nature. Jackson loved taking long walks through the forest near his town. What started as a simple escape to clear his mind turned into something much more meaningful. Each time he walked, he found himself helping animals in trouble, which deepened his love for them. One day, as Jackson ventured into the forest, he hoped to help another animal in need. Little did he know, something extraordinary was about to unfold. While strolling along a familiar path, Jackson heard a faint, weak cry. He paused and listened closely, trying to locate the sound. To his surprise, it sounded like a puppy. Confused and curious, Jackson wondered how a little puppy had ended up all alone in the forest. Determined to rescue the animal, Jackson followed the cries, carefully making his way through the trees. Suddenly, the cries stopped, making Jackson worry that he had gone too far. He retraced his steps, and soon he heard the whimper again, leading him to an unexpected sight. Nestled in a soft bed of moss was a tiny white creature, with its eyes barely open. It looked like a monkey, but Jackson wasn't sure. He looked around for any other animals, as they usually stay together, but found none. The little creature seemed healthy, but scared and alone. Jackson felt unsure. Was it really a monkey? The moss bed seemed odd for the wild. With rain clouds gathering, Jackson grew worried about the animal's safety. Despite his doubts, he was determined to help. He decided to take the little creature to the veterinarian in the city, a 30-minute drive away, hoping to find answers and ensure the animal's well-being. But as he reached his car, Jackson was stunned to find it gone. Feeling helpless, he stood by the roadside, hoping someone would stop. Luckily, a woman in her 40s pulled over. After Jackson explained the situation, she agreed to help. She was on her way to the city and didn't mind giving Jackson and his tiny friend a ride. Grateful, Jackson climbed in, relieved and hopeful. At the vet's office, Jackson explained everything that had happened. The veterinarian listened carefully, asking questions now and then. After a quick chat, Jackson was asked to wait outside while the vet examined the tiny creature. While waiting, Jackson suddenly remembered his stolen car and decided to head to the police station. He was stunned to find his car there. When he claimed ownership and told the officer about the day's events, he discovered the amazing news that his car had been found. The thief had driven into town, and a patrolling officer had spotted the car with a smashed window. The driver was caught, and Jackson felt a huge wave of relief. He was grateful that his car would be returned once some paperwork was completed. Just as Jackson was processing this news, the veterinarian called him back and urged him to hurry into the office. The vet's serious look made Jackson anxious. Once inside, the vet explained that the young animal had a highly infectious virus, dangerous to smaller mammals. While it didn't harm humans, it was a big risk to the other animals in the clinic. The vet reassured Jackson that they had quarantined the animal, but both of them needed to change clothes and wash up thoroughly to prevent spreading the virus. Jackson felt a mix of relief and worry as he followed the vet's instructions. Despite the precautions, they needed to check all the other animals for the virus. After several tense hours, the veterinarian confirmed that the other animals were safe. The infected animal, however, still needed treatment. Jackson felt a wave of relief mixed with worry. The vet then revealed that the creature was not a monkey, but an amazing glider known as a sugar glider. Weeks later, Jackson got a call from the vet with an update. The sugar glider had fully recovered, but was still too delicate to be released into the wild. The vet asked Jackson if he would be willing to care for the little creature. Although Jackson was initially unsure, he couldn't resist the idea of helping this unique animal. He agreed to take the sugar glider home, ready to provide it with a loving and safe environment. At first, Jackson named the sugar glider Limo and welcomed him into his home. They quickly became close friends, spending countless hours playing and exploring together. As Limo grew stronger, Jackson decided it was time for some outdoor fun. One day, he took Limo to a tree in their yard. Limo climbed up the tree with excitement, but then he didn't come back down. Jackson waited anxiously for hours, growing more worried and confused as time passed. The next day, Jackson returned to the tree, hoping to find Limo. He waited for hours again, feeling his heart grow heavy. Just as he was about to head home, something amazing happened. A sugar glider suddenly leaped from the tree, soaring around Jackson before landing gently on his shoulder. It was Limo, and Jackson felt an overwhelming sense of joy and connection as the tiny creature snuggled close to him. Though happy to have Limo back, Jackson couldn't shake the feeling that Limo might be happier and healthier in the wild. After some thought, Jackson decided the best thing for Limo was to release him back into the forest. The next day, with a mix of sadness and hope, he watched as Limo climbed a tree and disappeared into the woods. Jackson felt a pang of sadness, but knew it was the right thing to do. Jackson continued his Thursday afternoon walks, always keeping an eye out for Limo. He hoped to see his friend again, but one day, as he was returning home, he spotted another sugar glider in his yard. Curious and hopeful, Jackson approached and realized this was a different glider. It looked like it was waiting for help. Jackson brought the new glider inside, but he was worried about whether it might have the same illness Limo had once had. The following day, Jackson took the new glider to the vet. He was nervous but hopeful. The vet quickly examined the glider and shared some wonderful news. The new glider was perfectly healthy. The vet also noted that the new glider resembled Limo a lot, which led him to believe they were siblings. It seemed Limo had returned to the forest and found his brother or sister, guiding them to Jackson for help. The vet then asked Jackson if he would be interested in caring for both sugar gliders. Without hesitation, Jackson agreed. He felt a special connection to these little creatures and was eager to give them a good home. Back home, Jackson found joy in having two new friends. They adjusted well to their new environment and thrived under his care, growing strong and happy. Jackson often thought about the day he found Limo. Despite the challenges, he was glad he had rescued the extraordinary glider. The bond he shared with Limo and his siblings brought him great happiness. Jackson's love for animals and nature had led him to a rewarding and heartwarming experience that he cherished deeply. So, that's all for today. What are your thoughts about this story? Would you consider having a sugar glider as a pet? Tell us in the comment section below. And if you like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Your support means so much to us. Until then, take care and thanks for watching.